Attack on Titan Final Season Episode 21 is out. And with this new episode, we get to see the true origins of Ymir and the original Titans, as well as the continuation of Eren's mental confrontation with Zeke. But before I begin, don't forget the Colossal Titan nuke that like button and slide on into that subscribe button's DMs to hit that notification bell. And so, without further ado, let's jump right into Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 Episode 5, titled From You 2,000 Years Ago. This episode opens up exactly where the last episode left off, with Grisha devouring Frida and the Founding Titan, brutally and gruesomely declaring "fuck them kids," killing the entire Rice family, save Papa Rice, and having a full-on mental breakdown so powerful he sees his son from the future, who has now realized the little brother he tried to save was the true mastermind behind their father's most vile and corrupt actions. You know, when I say it like that, it seems convoluted as fuck. But anyway, after Eren headbutts Zeke back into the coordinate, Zeke realizes the truth of their father's past. Eren used the Attack Titan's newly revealed hidden ability for its current user to show their memories to any of its previous users to manipulate their father into killing and eating the Founding Titan. And Eren admits this is 100% what happened. And it was only possible because Zeke brought Eren into Grisha's memories using the Founding Titan's power. Basically, Grisha can see everything that Eren is going to experience. And because Eren is living through Grisha's memories, thanks to Zeke, Grisha is able to see and hear Eren as he is living through these events himself, essentially allowing the two to communicate through time. However, Eren also used this memory sharing power to only show Grisha his memories, which would encourage him to take the Founding Titan, choosing not to show him things that would prevent him from taking it, such as Eren's mother and Grisha's wife's gruesome death at the hands of his previous wife, and the date of Reiner and Berthold's attack. It's a little confusing, so just don't think about the logistics too much or your brain will oh my god, I think he's dead! During all of this exposition, Eren also explains that when he kissed Historia's hand all those years ago, he did in fact see his future self manipulating Grisha, telling Zeke what a sight it was. Zeke, finally realizing Eren is a total fucking nutcase, immediately uses the Founding Titan's power to command Ymir to go through with his euthanasia plan. Ymir then turns and begins to make her way to the coordinate as Eren, still chained in this realm, desperately tries to escape his confinement to prevent her from fulfilling Zeke's plan. As Eren is struggling to escape, Zeke explains that Grisha had asked him to stop Eren, proving that he truly did regret listening to his youngest son. And Zeke also explains that even though Eren may have seen a glimpse of his own future through Grisha's memories, he hasn't seen the full picture, as he didn't know he couldn't control the Founding Titan's power in Ymir's realm. Zeke then ends his little speech by telling Eren, "You are as powerless as ever." In hearing this, Eren lets out a scream and manages to gruesomely force his way out of his restraints, ripping off part of his hand in the process, and he begins to rush towards Ymir to try and prevent her from completing her order. Zeke is slightly surprised by Eren's escape. However, he seems ultimately unfazed as he proclaims that once Ymir has begun to move, there is no one in this world that can stop her. And before Eren can reach Ymir, the story cuts to a flashback, where we see Frida teaching a young Historia how to read. During this interaction, Historia's nose starts to run, and Frida tells Historia that she should be more ladylike, just like the woman she is reading about, who is actually the founder, Ymir. The scene then fades out, and we get another flashback, this time to Ymir herself, in which we get to see the reality of her life. We see that Ymir initially lived in a peaceful little village along with her family and some villagers. This peaceful life was short-lived, however, as when the barbaric Eldian tribe found a village, they plundered, pillaged, and murdered the majority of its residents. All of the villagers who weren't brutally murdered in the onslaught, such as Ymir, had their tongues cut out and they were forced into slavery under their new Eldian rulers. It's also important to note that as we see all of these atrocities atrocities taking place, we can still hear Frida talking to Historia, who is telling her younger sister to be more like Ymir, someone who lives to be helpful and loved by all in this notably cruel world, which also gives us a little insight into Ymir's personality. But anyway, one day while in slavery, a group of pigs escaped from their pens, and all of the villagers who were being threatened to have one of their eyes taken out chose to throw Ymir under the bus and blame her for the incident. As punishment, Fritz, the tribe's leader, decided to release Ymir into the wild so his men could hunt her like an animal for sport. We then see a desperate, bloodied and terrified Ymir sprinting through the forest with Eldians hot on her tail. During this chase, an arrow pierces Ymir's calf. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. And she stumbles onto the ground in front of an abnormally large tree. After having a little cry about her doomed fate, Ymir notices the strange tree in front of her, and she decides to take shelter in the cave-like hole at its base. However, upon entering the cave, Ymir ends up falling through a pit inside, causing her to fall and begin to drown in a pool of liquid. Although before she can fully succumb to her fate, a mysterious spine-shaped creature appears from the depths of the liquid, and seemingly merges with Ymir. Once this happens, a familiar yellow bolt of lightning comes crashing down from the sky, knocking over the abnormally large tree, and out from the smoke of its remains emerges Ymir as the first ever Titan. Now, it is interesting to note that the mysterious creature that attached itself to Ymir seems to have the ability to enhance any living matter, as can be seen by the fact that the tree it lived under grew to be abnormally large. I'm talking humongous, and that's just by being within its presence. Following Ymir's first transformation, the story cuts once more, this time to a slightly older Ymir sitting in front of the Eldian leader, Fritz. It's revealed that upon gaining her power, Ymir went back to serve Fritz as a slave, and she used her newfound Titan powers to not only help him conquer rival tribes to expand his empire, but also to build roads, level mountains, and cultivate land, making Eldia the most powerful empire in the world. Now, you may be thinking, why would Ymir choose to return to slavery after receiving her Titan abilities? Well, it's because of what Frida has already said. Ymir lived to be helpful and loved by others. But anyway, Fritz, wanting to reward Ymir for her hard work, decides that she will be the woman who will bear his seed. And we then get a montage of Ymir using her powers to destroy Eldia's enemies, the growth of Eldia as an empire, as well as of the birth of Ymir and Fritz's 3 daughters, Maria, Rose, and Sheena. This montage comes to an end as Ymir sacrifices herself to stop an assassination attempt on a much older King Fritz. As Ymir is lying on the ground bleeding out in front of the newly crowned king, Fritz tells Ymir to get up, stating, "You won't die to Ymir's spear, my slave, Ymir." Although, despite her king's wishes, this does turn out to be Ymir's final moments, as she closes her eyes and passes on. However, Ymir does awaken again, except she is not only a child once more, but instead of the world of the living, she awakens in the barren realm of the Path. As Ymir is inhabiting this realm, we see in the real world King Fritz refuses to accept that he has lost his greatest weapon. So he forces his 3 daughters to eat their mother's corpse in an attempt to preserve the power of the Titans. This dude has like no redeeming qualities. Upon realizing this attempt was a success, Fritz then commands his daughters to continuously reproduce, and to have their children eat their spines upon their deaths, and to perpetuate this ritual from child to child so that Ymir's blood will not die out, so Eldia can rule forever with its Titans. As this is happening, back in Ymir's realm, the singular path of light begins to diverge, signifying the transfer of her Titan powers amongst her 3 children. We then get another montage, this time of Ymir in her realm building the Titan forms of her descendants through untold centuries. As a new branch diverges from the path for for every new Titan wielder that exists. With Ymir continuously and endlessly producing more and more Titans, King Fritz's narration echoes, "Our Titans shall reign for eternity, until the world's end." King Fritz then tries to repeat this sentiment, but before his narration can fully finish, however, the story abruptly cuts back to the present, where we see Eren with his arms wrapped around Ymir, screaming out that he can put an end to this world. Eren then continues to cry out to Ymir, shouting, "You are not a slave. You are not a god. You're just a person." And he tells Ymir to not bow to anyone and to just make her own decisions. Zeke, shocked that Eren actually managed to stop Ymir, begins to rush towards the duo, commanding Ymir to listen to his orders and euthanize all Eldians. Yet these commands fall on deaf ears, as Eren asks Ymir if she was the one who made sure he reached the coordinates, suggesting that she must have been waiting for someone. And instead of commanding her like every person who came before him, Eren asks Ymir for her help. And this seems to work, as the next thing we see is Ymir's face, with her eyes clearly visible for the first time ever, full of tears while she is in Eren's embrace. And with this, the story cuts back to present day Paradis, where we see Zeke still clutching on to Eren's head, but this time, the spine-like creature which granted Ymir her Titan powers attaches itself to Eren, causing his eyes to move and yellow lightning to strike down from the sky. With this flash of lightning, the sky turns red as the infamous walls of Paradis begin to crumble, releasing an army of colossal Titans. Eren, who was previously thought dead, fuses with the spine-like creature, and he takes on a fucking-enormous skeletal form, which easily towers over all of the colossal Titans. Like, he got big. Mikasa and Armin, witnessing the Titans break and emerge from the walls, regroup, and Armin exclaims that Eren actually did it. He has successfully activated the rumbling. Although Armin's glee of their victory is short-lived, as he sees Eren isn't just releasing the Titans within the outside walls, but he's releasing the Titans within all of the walls. In the midst of Armin's confusion, both him and Mikasa are temporarily transported to Ymir's realm, where Eren's voice begins to speak to them, informing them that he now possesses the founding Titan's power, and he is using it to communicate with all of the subjects of Ymir around the world. As we see Jean, Connie, Gabby, Reiner, and tons of other Eldians also inhabiting this realm. And with this, episode 21 comes to an end, as Eren, using the founding Titan's power, informs every Eldian around the globe that he will not let anyone destroy his people or his home. So he is going to use the Wall Titans to eliminate every single living being outside of the island of Paradis. Overall, this was another insane episode. Actually, getting to see Ymir's past and the madness and cruelty of the first Eldian king was both horrifying and amazing, and Eren convincing Ymir to break free from her shackles of slavery and to fight was the most fitting reason for Ymir to join his side. Like, seriously, it couldn't be more perfect that Eren was the one to free Ymir from her eternal torment of her prison. Eren gaining the founding Titan's power was kind of expected, but the whole spine creature and him potentially absorbing Zeke most certainly was not. I'm really looking forward to see what happens from this point on, especially considering the battle for Paradis seems to be just over and a brand new battle is about to begin. But let me know what you thought of this episode. Comment your thoughts and opinions below, but remember to keep them spoiler free. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like. For more content like this, subscribe to the Lunchtime Crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra.